welcome to Education, Leadership, and Beyond, Surviving and Thriving. My name is Andrew Marana, host of the show, and thank you for tuning in live here on Facebook, on our social medias. Proud member of the Education Podcast Network, Voice Ed Radio Canada, wherever you are taking in your podcast. Thank you for tuning in. It is Thursday, November 6, 2025. Happy to be with you. And it's a big day. It's a big day. My newest book just came out. Here it is, The Magic Acronyms, Formulas, and Impactful Stories of Leadership, a tribute to the amazing Dr. Rob Gilbert and the Success Hotline. We will get to that in a moment. But first, a word from our sponsor today, IXL. Proud of my relationship with IXL, and certainly I like what they've done in schools and the impact that they are making in schools. Here they are. I'd like to thank IXL for sponsoring today's podcast. Over 1 million teachers use IXL in their classroom every day. IXL is the most widely used online learning and teaching platform K through 12. It empowers schools with complete curriculum, thousands of instructional resources, robust reporting, assessment data, and more. It saves teachers a lot of valuable time with ready-made plans aligned to the standards and the textbooks. Built-in engagement tools like custom competitions make learning fun for students. And IXL's diagnostic is research proven to be a strong predictor of performance on standardized assessments. And the best part, everything I just mentioned is all integrated into one platform, so you can simplify your EdTech tools. Visit IXL.com to lead your students towards data-driven excellence today. The link is in the show notes. And again, appreciate IXL sponsoring today's podcast. All right. Thank you for that. We are going to meet Dr. Patrick Ketch. Patrick is the superintendent of Blairstown Elementary in North Jersey. Met Patrick this summer, him and his team. And proud to have Patrick on today. He's a dad, he's a doctor, he's a husband, he's a school leader. He's got 2 young daughters. We might meet him on the show today. So we will meet Patrick in just a moment. But our opening segment, again, I mentioned earlier, this book is released today. My newest book, my 7th book. It's on Amazon. It will be on Audible very soon. I had a chance to read it, but it is a tribute to Dr. Rob Gilbert and the Success Hotline. That Success Hotline number is 973-743-4690. If you are not a caller yet of the hotline, I highly recommend it. But Dr. Rob changed my life, learning all these acronyms, formulas, and impactful stories over the years. And many of them are in here, and how they impacted me. Stories of things that happened to me through the work and the inspiration of Dr. Gilbert. So here's one of them. Here's one of the acronyms. WIN, win, right? We want to win. We want to be winners in our life. We want to be around winning people. But WIN actually stands for what I need, right? Here it is here. I'm not going to read you the excerpt, but that's one of them, right? What I need. And are you making time in your life for the wins? What I need, those most important things. So many times in our lives, we go, we do, but we're not taking time for what I need. Maybe it is rest. Maybe it is quiet time. Maybe it is an exhilarating experience like a concert or a game or bungee jumping or something, right? To put a fire under us. Maybe it's exercise. So create that win time in your life and go do those important things. So there's our opening concept. And again, the book's on Amazon. The book will be on Audible. If you're interested in bulk copies for your team, reach out and I will be in touch with you about that. Enough of me chit-chatting. Let's meet the today's guest, the star of the show. You, Dr. Ketch. That's the intro. You're over here. There you are. Welcome, Patrick. Welcome to Education, Leadership, Beyond.
How are you?
Yeah. Thanks, Patrick. Thanks for joining us. A little round of applause here. How you doing today?
I'm good. How are you? Busy.
Yeah. Busy. It's a busy time as superintendent.
Yeah. Well, we had the day off, so I figured I would rip a bathroom apart, and I was painting, so I opened.
Oh, you had the day off of school today?
Yeah. So I was painting before I popped on here. So
okay.
And it's one of those things. I'm like, let me change one thing, and it just spiraled out of control. So now I'm changing everything. So
Okay. Why was there no school today?
the teachers convention and GEA.
Oh, is that today? Got it. Got it.
And
Got it.
tomorrow,
Okay.
weekend, 4-day weekend.
Very cool. Yeah, that's a big event.
Yeah, never been though.
Okay. Well, friends, this is Dr. Patrick Ketch, Blairstown, New Jersey, superintendent there for 5 years.
This is year 6.
Year 6. Okay.
Yeah,
Patrick, year 6, you're a veteran now, right? You're a veteran superintendent after a couple of years. What's something that you've learned now that you didn't know back then in year 1 and 2?
um, there's so much that it entails. You don't realize that when you're a principal. You know what I mean? There's so many policies, rules, and regulations that you got to follow. So the person I was 5 years ago is completely different than the person I am now in terms of what I know. And, I've also learned to let things roll off my back more than I used to. I used to hold on to a lot of things.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm getting to the point now where it's like, as you get older, you become more calm in situations. So I think it's just a lot of policies and stuff. Like as a principal, a vice principal, there's so much you don't deal with, you know what I mean? And you're never off, you're always on. That's something I had to learn.
Patrick, are you a guy that, you're studying the policy book, or are you somebody at the meeting where you are absorbing information, you're learning about that? Are you sitting with a committee and taking in these policies? How do you retain all of those things that you got to kind of know for the job?
I mean, it just comes with time. You don't know all of it and you never will. I mean, you see the policy books, they're huge. You don't know, you go look it up and find the answer, and move on from there.
Friends, if you're watching, jump in the show, say hello to Patrick, ask a question. Patrick, I've been to Blairstown, beautiful place, very small community. What's a day look like for you as superintendent?
The days are busy. The thing I've learned is you expect the unexpected. You don't know what's going to come your way, and one thing may go right, might go left, and there goes your day. But there's always something happening, something going on, and before you know it, it's lunchtime. Before you know it, it's dismissal. So the day is always packed and always something going on.
Patrick, you were a middle school principal previously. How did you learn how to delegate? Right now, everyone always wants to. I want to speak to the boss. I want to speak to the superintendent. I want to speak to the manager. But as a superintendent, it's important you delegate. How did you learn that skill and that strategy?
Because you just learn you can't do everything yourself. You need help. It's impossible for one person to do everything. So you just need a good team and, trust the people underneath you and make sure that things get done. That's the most important, that you accomplish your goals or what you set out to do. Over time, I've always been the type of person, I can do this, I'll do this. But you get to a point where it's unsurmountable. You can't do everything by yourself.
Yeah. Patrick, unique of Blairstown, you're in the building, right? Your office is in the building.
Yeah.
Do you find yourself in classes more often and out with the kids more often because you're on site?
Well, it's good because you get to see the kids. A lot of superintendents' positions are outside of the school, so you have no interactions with the students. And I get to see teachers. I get to see students throughout the day. So that's a good thing.
Yeah.
It's nice just to go get out of your office and talk to the kids.
Be connected in the school there for sure.
You get to know you as a human. When I was principal, the best part of my day was lunch with the kids because you got to know them as people. They got to know you as a person. I had conversations. What are their likes? You know what I mean? What are they into? You learn a lot from them too. And then, then you're not just some adult. You're somebody they can relate to.
Are you Dr. K to them? What do they call you?
Dr. Ketch. Yeah.
Dr. Ketch.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of that, Patrick, pretty interesting. You have 2 doctorates. It's hard enough to get one. You have 2. And I love this. You have a doctorate in Irish history, as well as your doctorate in education. Yes. Tell me about that and studying the Irish history. Obviously, you're coming from Irish descent yourself.
My mom is from England, and her grandparents were from Ireland. I just kind of fell into it. My an old board president, when I was in Wharton, he was a professor at Drew, and he's like, you should take some of these classes. So I took a few classes, and the next thing I know, I was in the program. And then the next thing I know, I was in Ireland for a summer taking classes. That was a lot of fun. It definitely was. Saw some cool things, met some cool people. And it came time to write the dissertation. I had no idea what to write about, and we were in Ireland, and I decided to go swimming, and I jumped in the pool, and then it just hit me. I was like, I know what I'm going to write about. And so I wrote about how the Irish famine affected sports in America, and I focused on 3 people. So it was fun to write. It was a lot of boxing and baseball, and how the potato famine influenced them, and they all left because there was nothing to eat, and they settled in. And then you have all these famous people, 2 famous boxers. So that was a lot of fun to write. I was very into that.
Yeah.
And
cool. So you immersed yourself in the program, living in Ireland for the summer.
Yeah, I went for the summer. It was cool, There was one thing that stands out in Dingle. There's the bay there, and there was a dolphin, and they call him Fungi the dolphin. And it was like kind of like he's out there, and we were taking a boat ride on the ferry, and everybody wanted to see him. But like it was on the class, it was like a walking tour, so you walked all day, and you're exhausted, so you're excited just to sit down. So I was on the back of the boat, and I'm looking at the water, and then all of a sudden, the dolphin comes up right next to me, like 2 feet from me. And I'm like, oh my God, there he is. And I yelled, there he is. And then when I yelled it, he went under, and everybody ran to the side of the boat. And then all of a sudden he came over on the other side. And I'm like, wait, he's over there. And then everybody ran to that side, but he went back under. So everybody to them, like, that's not funny. I'm like, no, for real, he's there. And then all of a sudden he came out the front and started jumping. So that was a good memory, Yeah. To see a dolphin up close, it was really cool.
Yeah.
So, and now he's been there since the 80s, but sadly when COVID happened, the boat stopped going out. So he started going further out into the ocean, and they don't know what happened to him. Yeah. So, but it was, I was like, cool, I get to meet the dolphin. So it was a good experience.
Interesting there, though. Doctorate in Irish history. Patrick, you have 2 doctorates. Obviously, you're a studied man there yourself. How do you continue to sharpen your saw now? 6 years as superintendent in Blairstown. How do you continue to grow and learn as a leader?
I mean, just with experience, you grow with every situation. A lot of self-reflection, and I'm definitely one to Google things and look things up. In terms of reading, I like to read a lot of history books. That's where my love is at. How people lived in the past and things they went through and stuff like that. So, that's how I stay focused. My family keeps me focused. The biggest thing to me is my 2 girls and my family. Anytime I have a bad day and I come home and they're like, I love you, Daddy, it's like, all right, it's good. Everything's going to be all right.
Harley and Sophia, 5 and 4 years old. They might be joining you here on the podcast soon.
Yeah, they'll hear me in here, and I'll tell them not to come in, but they'll come in. That's what they do. So yeah. Sophia will sit on my lap, and then she'll keep waving to you.
Okay, so she's going to come on the program.
I hear them running around. I just got home from Walmart, so I hear them. So so they'll venture in here eventually.
Well, here at Education Leadership Beyond, we love kids, and our viewing audience will bring them in. And how about that, Patrick? Having young girls, they're growing up, their events, their things, but you're a superintendent. How do you find the balance between being a dad and being a school leader?
I mean, it's hard. When I first started in Blairstown, I only had 1 child, and she was 1. They're 17 months apart. When they're a baby, it's easy. As they get older, it's getting more difficult because now they're into gymnastics, soccer, and swim lessons. So there's something every night. So it's just, you got to be ready to run, So, and when I'm at events, unfortunately, I can't come home in between events. So there are times that, but it's part of the job. So, and they understand that too,
Do you sit with your wife and a Google Calendar? Daddy's here. I'm at this. I got this. How do you plan those out if your kids have a recital?
No, it's just more of like, what do you got tonight? Because she's a business administrator, so we're both school administrators. And what do you got? When's your meetings? When's this week? What's coming up? So like one night is soccer. So she took them to soccer tonight. I got swim lessons. So. We make it work. It's just got to be a team effort here. Yeah. But let me tell you, they're all over the place. Somebody told me once they get older and they start running around, it changes everything. And then, I definitely believe that,
It does. It really does. Yeah. And you got to be a teammate with your spouse there.
Yeah. 100%.
Manage it all. Yeah.
Exactly.
Well, Patrick, one of the things you mentioned about your girls being involved in, but one of the things you're heavily involved in is jujitsu
That's right.
and fitness. There, I've met you in person. You are certainly in shape there. Tell me
So
about your journey with jujitsu and
I,
how has impacted you as a leader?
it humbles you. It's the hardest thing I've ever done in my life. I've always been someone to chase things in terms of like, all right, you get a degree, I'll go back, I'll get another degree. Eventually you conquer it and you finish it. But with this, you'll never finish it. You'll never, it's a continuous journey, and it started 8 years ago. And I kind of fell into it, and I was terrible when I started. I years of working out and lifting, I wasn't very flexible. I couldn't move. I was like R2D2 or C3PO, and over time you can't quit. You got to stick with it. And getting beat up all the time is very humbling, So it's but I made a lot of great friends, a lot of great connections. It's been a great experience, and it's something I want to teach my girls. You hear all these crazy stories about somebody getting into the wrong Uber and somebody getting killed or this and that. And as my girls get older, I want to teach them, just so they can defend themselves. It's a crazy world we live in.
And Patrick, I've watched movies, I've seen street fights or whatever, but like I know I've heard karate, right? Yeah. But what can you tell someone who doesn't know what jujitsu is?
More
what is it?
It's like on the ground, it's moves, chokes, arm bars, triangles, so it's when you get to the ground and it's grappling,
And are you taking classes in it? Are you?
Yeah, I do 3 days a week.
Is it fighting? Is it bouting? Like what, against another person? You're literally scrapping with another person?
No, it's not like the UFC. You're not like punching or hitting like that, but you get tapped out, so I go 3 days a week, Tuesdays and Thursdays and Saturday mornings, and you practice moves for like an hour and then you roll against people. So you usually do like 5 matches, you don't get hurt. I mean, unless you don't tap, then you can get hurt. But it's a very humbling experience. And the thing I learned is you can't judge anybody. So I look at the world now as that everybody's a black belt because you just don't know, and I got tapped when I first started. I got tapped out by a former student. He was 14 years old and he triangled and choked the daylights out of me. And I was like, yeah,
Wow, that had to be intimidating for him.
Yeah. The funny thing, he was very humble about it. He was very quiet. I would have walked into school the next day like Conor McGregor. Like I just tapped out my old principal. But he never said anything.
Take back that detention.
Yeah. No. And so that was 8 years ago, and now he's in his 20s, and we joke about it. So it's been cool. And the coach, I've become very close with his family. So we had a lot of great friends. So it's been a cool experience. I'll continue on it. And, like I'm older, I'm 50, I'll be 51 in January. And, some of these younger guys, I can't keep up, but, it's better than sitting home watching TV. So,
yeah. And is it weight, Patrick? Is it like wrestling? My friend Matt Hodge from Alabama says here, Dan Gable says, once you wrestle, everything else is easy. Jiu-jitsu is the same. Is it like wrestling that you go against somebody in your weight?
No, there's all different sizes. There's one guy, he outweighed me by like 120 pounds. And it's like, you just, I mean, if you're out in the street, you can't say that somebody starts with you, excuse me, what's your weight? Can you another guy for me, you go against people sometimes. I mean, there's one guy in class, he's 6'6", and he's like 285 pounds. And like my goal is just for him not to get on top of me because he'll crush me. So you gotta move quickly.
Patrick, you have a light purple sweatshirt on there, but I know your belt is a little darker. How do you go for the next belt? What is the next one brown?
Yeah. So it goes white, blue, purple, brown, and black. So
how do you get the brown belt and then eventually the black belt?
Time on the mat. He's got to show up. And eventually the coach says, hey, usually it takes like 2 to 3 years. I was a blue belt for about 4 years. So, yeah, and then you get stripes. And once you get to 4 stripes, you move to the next belt.
And how do you get a stripe?
Just over time. Whenever the coach says, hey, you're ready, But I'm at the point now where it's like I used to care about the rankings and the belts, but they really don't matter.
Yeah.
So, there's this thing called a curse of the blue belt. in which everybody gets to a blue belt and stops. So I really wanted my purple belt just to say that, okay, I didn't get the curse of the blue belt. So now that I got it, I'm like, okay, I can chill, and whatever happens, happens, you know?
Okay.
Yeah. So it's cool. It's fun.
Awesome. Well, good
Yeah.
for you there.
Well,
Another passion you have, and I know you got long sleeves on today, but is tattoos. You've got
yeah.
some tattoos under there.
I do. Yeah.
Where did that passion start?
A long time ago. At the time I was young and dumb. You got some ink that I regretted, and then but I kept going with it, and I was like, oh, I'm one of those people. Like, oh, I got a vision or idea or thought in my head. I'm like, okay, let me move forward with this, and then eventually, like you said, it started here, and then moved down, and next thing I know, it's a sleeve, and then I just kept going with it, you know. But I recently did a huge cover up. I did a lot of tribal 20 years ago, and I covered it up. So it took me a year and a half and one session a month to cover it all back up. Yeah, so that's all covered up and going. So
with different type designs now, different art.
Do you remember the basketball player for the Detroit Pistons, Rasheed Wallace?
I do know Rasheed. In college.
The tattoo he had, the Egyptian tattoo.
I don't know that, but I know Rasheed Wallace.
I always liked it, and that was always my favorite thing to teach was Egypt. So
Okay.
I started with an Egyptian tattoo, and it just kind of grew with that. So
Okay.
all the pyramids and gods and stuff like that. So that's how it just all began, the journey. So, and then the old tribal I just didn't like. I was embarrassed by it. So, you know, so one day I was like, can you cover it up? So I'm the best client ever. You know, I pay someone to tattoo me, and then I pay them to cover it up. So
how about your wife? Is your wife into the tattoos also? Is she?
Yeah, she's got quite a few, you know.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like a date, you go for dinner and then get a tattoo?
Nah, it was too painful. It wouldn't be a fun date, you know. So
is it a conversation with your wife saying, hey, I'm thinking about this, or is it's my body, I get to go do what I want? You don't have a vote.
It's my body, I'm gonna do what I want, you know.
Okay.
That's how I am, you know. If I want it, I want it. I mean, I tell her, hey, listen, I'm gonna go do it, you know.
Yeah.
She tells me she wants one. Hey, go for it. It's your body. Yeah, do what you want. She sat through a session from her upper ribs all the way down to her knee. One session. Yeah. How that was painful. I couldn't even watch. I was like, yeah.
How long?
She was there all day. I gave her credit for that. Yeah, that was tough.
Wow.
Yeah, it's painful. So if anybody else who doesn't hurt, they're lying to you.
Matt Hodge says he's working on a sleeve also. He left you a message here today.
Be true to yourself. You know what I mean? So if that's what I mean, it's funny. One day I was working out at the YMCA in Randolph, and there was an elder guy came up to me, and he's like, "Oh, I really like what you have." And I'm like, "Thank you." And I said, "I'm sure when I'm 85, I'll regret it." And the best piece of advice he said to me, he says, "You won't care." And I said, "Why is that?" He's like, "Because I'm 85 and I could care less." So I was like, "Okay, that's some good advice."
He's 85 and he's at the gym. That's good.
Yeah. But I also tell kids though, like, you know, I can relate to kids and, you know, older kids when they ask me about it, like, yeah, if you want to do it, do it. Just remember, once you get it, it's there. Mm-hmm. So choose wisely.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. Friends, this is Patrick Ketch, Dr. Ketch, Superintendent Blairstown Elementary, North Jersey. Patrick, every day, leaders should fill in the blank. What are 2 or 3 things that you think school leaders, regardless if you're a principal, you're a superintendent, what are 2 or 3 things they should do every day?
They should do. I just think everybody should always be honest. You know, if you don't know something, say you don't know it, and be transparent. I think everybody should be transparent. I try to be the best I can. You know what I mean? So try to be straight shooter. I've worked for people that, you know, they try to play games and it just muddies the water. Mm-hmm. You know,
tell you one thing and do something else.
Yeah, they would say something to me, and then they tell somebody something else, and it's like, okay, where did we get? We didn't get anywhere. Nothing resolved. And sometimes you do have to say things that people don't want to hear. You know, so, but you'd rather have a situation resolved than to make it worse and bigger. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
So transparent honesty. You know.
Okay.
Those are things.
Well, another good thing that leaders have, Patrick, is routines. What are some of your routines in school? But then we'll talk about out of school. But let's start in school. What are some of your routines that help you be successful?
Some of my routines, just be diligent with my work, you know, be focused, you know, try my best every day, put my best foot forward, you know, so That's what I
Okay.
try to do every day. Try to, make sure I'm there, make sure I'm present, and do the best I can.
Are you do you have to have a notepad and write things down? Are you an
Uh,
electronic where your timer beep and you go, you know what you have
I'm
next?
pretty good.
How do you track all the things you're doing?
I'm my Google Calendar. I'm one for sticky notes. They're all over my office. I always write things down on my to-do list, and and I'll stick it to my computer screen, and then try to make sure I go through it every day. Okay, I got to get this done, and this done. So yeah, and I do everything electronically as well. So it's a culmination. So
Okay.
if you saw the sticky notes, you'd be like, okay,
And how about outside of school? Again, you have two young daughters, 5
yeah,
and 4.
yeah.
You mentioned Saturday morning jujitsu. What are some routines you have outside of school that
I mean,
serve you and your family?
I'm a very structured person, so my days are pretty much the same every day. I get up every morning at 5 o'clock in the morning, and the first thing I do is go downstairs and work out. I really don't have the time to go to the gym, so over time, I gradually built a gym in my house that I go use every day. 5 o'clock in the morning every day till about 6:30. And then at night, Tuesdays and Thursdays, I do jujitsu from 7:30 to 9:30.
It's
And
that late.
yeah, the funny thing is my girls wait up for me. It's cute. Yeah.
Wow, you must be exhausted on at 9:30 and Tuesday night. You're doing jujitsu.
I mean, yeah, it's getting harder as I get older, but I just, every Tuesday and Thursday at 7 o'clock I quit. But every time at 9:30 when I roll out of there, I'm like, oh, I feel great. You know what I mean? So you just got to stay dedicated. But
Yeah,
as we get older, it gets a little harder.
yeah,
So
yeah. Sometimes getting out of that bed at 5 in the morning too, it gets a little harder too.
it does, but then I think about what my day would be like if I don't do it.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? I know my personality, and then if I don't do it, then I'm gonna feel worse than if I got up and was tired.
Yeah,
I'm also believe that if you stop doing something, you won't go back to it. So that's why I won't stop. I don't want to stop because once I stop, then I won't go back.
yeah,
You fall out of that routine. So I think routine and structures, for me, it's a big part of my life.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Patrick, I hope people are going to read the newest book, The Magic Acronyms, Formulas, and Impactful Stories of Leadership. But all leaders are readers. You mentioned reading history books.
Yeah.
What's something you read lately that had an impact you in terms of leadership?
I mean, I read a book on Alexander the Great. Recently read something on it was like a little book that I got. I forget where I got it, a fact sheet about Adolf Hitler, which is very interesting in like all the things that he did. We have a visitor. One of the books I read that I got, that I got through my doctorate was a book called On Killing, and I just reread that again. It's a great book. It's very interesting.
Okay.
So,
okay. Here's some guests here. Hello, Mrs. Ketch.
Hello.
Hey, this is my little one. Hey, you want to say hi?
Hi.
Yeah.
This is Sophia.
Yeah, this is Sophie. Yeah.
Hi, Sophia.
Yes.
How is it? How is life as a 4-year-old of a daughter of a superintendent? And this must be Harley.
Yes, that's Harley. Yeah.
Hi, Harley.
Say hello. She's gonna be shy, but this is my non-shy one. So
Okay.
yeah. So
What's for dinner, Sophia? What's for dinner tonight?
mac and cheese.
Harley, no school today, huh?
No, we went to soccer camp today. She's a big soccer
Oh,
player, so she had camp to
Nice.
keep her busy.
First grade or kindergarten, Harley?
First grade.
My goodness. What's something you're reading, Harley? Are you reading something?
What book are you reading? She reads every night. So
Yeah.
she's a good reader. So we practice every night.
That's important.
Yeah, absolutely. The more she reads, the better she gets.
I remember when I was tired, Patrick, reading the book, I might accidentally skip a page or two.
Yeah.
As I was reading,
Yeah.
You're getting tired.
No, she's crushing it. She's doing a great job in first grade.
Nice.
Definitely proud.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Well, good luck in school, Harley. Mom and Dad both are school leaders there. So important. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Cool.
yeah, my two little babies. Yeah.
Nice to see them. Patrick, anything else you wanted to share while you're here on the podcast? Any message you want to get out to educators and leaders that are watching the show?
Keep doing your thing. Sometimes it's easy, sometimes it's never easy. Sometimes it's difficult, but stay positive.
Yeah.
Good things will happen.
sometimes it works out.
Yeah,
Sometimes
no,
the day works.
yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
So just keep doing your thing.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Friends, this is Dr. Ketch, Blairstown, New Jersey. Jump in the chat, ask a question, say hello. Got 2 doctorates. I'm impressed by that,
Thanks.
Patrick. I've
But-
debated getting 1, but you got 2.
No, I mean, I think anybody can do anything if they want to do it. It's just putting the time in.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
Well,
that's what people say about the books, right? How do you write the books? You just keep writing,
So that's the biggest thing when I tell people when they're doing the dissertation is just get up and write and just keep writing. I would write at crazy hours of the night. If I woke up and I had a thought, an idea, I'd quickly write it down, get up early in the morning, 5 in the morning, write for an hour, so you just keep writing and eventually it gets done. So you should do it. You know how to write. So you've written a lot of books. So you could definitely.
Yeah. It's a lot of time though.
Yeah, it is, but like everything else, it goes fast.
Yeah.
The time that you doing it, if you look back, that time's going to pass anyway. So might as well do something and stay focused on something.
Okay.
Yeah, so.
Well, Patrick, I know the girls are home. You got to swim tonight. Let's get to rapid fire. These are quick answers. And here we go. You ready?
Ready.
Last movie you saw?
2 movies I watched the other night. My daughter wants to see Wicked 2. I've never seen the first one, so she made me watch the first one.
Okay.
Crazy enough, my little 4-year-old is into horror movies, so we watched the remake of Friday the 13th.
Oh, yeah, she's not afraid of those movies?
We watched Nightmare on Elm Street 1 through 4. We got to finish that. We watched all the Chucky movies. She was Chucky for Halloween, and she's obsessed with horror movies, and she does not get scared. It blows my mind.
Wow.
Yeah. But I will say this. If you go back and watch all these movies from the 80s, they're not scary. They're very cheesy.
They were scary at the time, though.
They were, because we're the same age. And remember when Nightmare on Elm Street came out? I mean,
oh my God.
sitting in my basement.
Oh my God.
I sat through it. I was scared to death just so I could tell my friends I watched it. That was 1984. I watched it recently. I'm like, wow, this is terrible. So.
Last concert you went to?
Oh man, I haven't. I love music. I'm a big music person, but I never go to concerts. The last concert I went to was Dave Matthews, and that was many moons ago.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Dave is great though. Well, it's hard when you got little kids.
Yeah, I just never won for huge crowds like that. So, my younger days, I used to go to concerts a lot, but not
okay.
anymore.
Last song you sang out loud in the car?
That was today with my daughter, Bruno Mars, APT.
Oh,
so
beautiful.
She loves that song. So
beautiful.
We sang it together.
Great food in North Jersey. Ton of great places to go.
Yeah.
What's your favorite dish? You go out to dinner with your wife. What's your favorite to order?
I'm a very picky eater, so that's a bad question for me. So I'm a big pizza person. I love pizza. So there's a place in Randolph called Forte. They have grandma's pie. It's my favorite. So I definitely have every week. Yeah.
The food you had at Blairstown on the teacher lunch day, that was a great meal.
Oh, that was from it was a pizza place in Blairstown. That was from.
I don't know, but your secretary took care of it. She made me a plate.
Yeah, she did. That's right.
Yeah.
Good. Yeah.
And like a real Italian, take some to go, take some home. She's loading me up with sandwiches. Yeah. Patrick, it could be a very stressful job at times. What's a go-to stress reliever for you?
Jiu-jitsu, working out in the mornings. That's staying active. That's my stress relief. So.
That's cool. You're into that jiu-jitsu, man. In 2025, I have fill in the blank.
Give me an example.
It's your life, man. What is something that you've committed to in 2025?
Something I've committed to in 2025. I don't know. I feel like, life as you get older and grow, it's always trying to better yourself and self-reflect. You know what I mean? So I always try to improve myself.
Okay. In 2025, I have stopped
checking my email at night.
That's fair. That's good. What's a pet peeve of yours, Patrick?
Pet peeve. I don't like when people are fake. Just be real, be who you are.
You talked about that as something you want to do every day. Be transparent, be visible.
Yeah. Just be you.
Okay. What's advice you would give to a new school administrator, whether again a superintendent, new principal? What advice would you offer?
Expect the unexpected. You never know what's going to come your way. I've been education 22 years now, and it's seen some crazy things. There's been some funny things, scary things. You know what I mean? So just expect the unexpected. Stay positive. Don't get too in the Marines. They say don't get too high, don't get too low. Stay grounded, stay focused.
Stay somewhere right in the middle there.
Yeah.
Northeast here, New Jersey. You have a sports team?
I'm a Yankees fan. I am.
Okay.
Yeah, big time. I like the Devils. Unfortunately, football has been tainted because of fantasy football.
Mm-hmm.
Players, I've done fantasy football every year. So then I start rooting for players. I was always a big Tom Brady fan.
Okay.
He is the greatest quarterback of all time. So I always rooted for him. When he went to the Bucs, I rooted for the Bucs. But funny, growing up, the first Super Bowl I watched was the Bears-Patriots, Super Bowl 20. And I was a huge Jim McMahon fan. So
1985?
The 85 Bears with that defense.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. The fridge.
Yeah. The fridge, Walter Payton, Richard Dent, Jim McMahon. That's a great team. That's like my favorite team of all time. So I root for Chicago. They're actually 5-3 this year, so that's nice.
A little bit better, yeah. They traded Fields to the Jets, and they're terrible.
Yeah. He went to Pittsburgh, and then the Jets. He's not doing too great.
So are you in a fantasy league with friends, or is it something that you've been doing for years with friends?
My friends growing up, we from elementary school. One of them I ended up roommating with at the University of Delaware, and we have done this every year since the late 90s. You know what I mean? It's cool. It's it's all trash. Have fun doing it. And so yeah, I enjoy that.
Nice.
I've won the league 4 times, so so I haven't won in a few years though, so I got to bounce back.
Okay.
I always joke that. I'm sorry.
What's one thing you're curious about?
One thing am I curious about? I don't know. I'm curious about a lot of things. A lot of things pop in my head at night, and I start Googling it. The other day, I was Googling Z100, the history of Z100, because I was like, I don't know anymore. I was like, does that still exist? You know what I mean? And I went through the whole history of it. So a lot of things pop in my head at night. When I get home and sit on the couch, I'll start Googling things. I'm a big Google thing.
Is it still there? I mean, I grew up listening
to it. Started in 1983 with Scott Shannon. I was like, wow, I remember that as a kid. Listened to that when it first came on.
That and WPLJ 95.9.
Yeah. Yep. Exactly. It's funny how it all changed, and trying to explain it to my kids. I'm like, yeah, no, they don't get it.
Yeah. Wait a minute. What, Dad? You have to wait to hear a song on the radio? You can't just have it right now?
Or a TV show. They have no concept about a landline, a phone. Because unfortunately, my father, he passed away 3 years ago from pancreatic cancer. And my mom couldn't go back to the house. So I ended up buying the house that I grew up in and moved back in. And so my dad was a collector of everything. And he used to build cars and stuff, a lot of cars and stuff like that. And we found one of the old phones that you pick up and you hold here. And it was blowing my kid's mind. Like, what is this? I'm like, it's a phone. You know what I mean? And you remember the phones we had on the wall with a really long wire on it.
You could go to the other room with it.
You stretch it, you know what I mean? And you try to let it curl up and you try to stretch it out again. The good old days. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Friends, this is Dr. Ketch, New Jersey Superintendent. Patrick, how about a quote to bring us home here?
Let's say a quote. If you want the ultimate goal, you got to pay the ultimate price. That was something that was said to me in high school.
Okay.
Things aren't going to come easy. You got to work for it. But you got to put in the work and the time, and you'll achieve your goals.
Dr. Ketch, everybody. Good luck with your daughters.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I appreciate you having me. It's my first podcast ever, so it was cool. Thank you.
You did well, and a shout out to your team there at Blairstown.
Yes.
Good people and doing good things for your community there.
Yeah, a great community, good staff, good team. So
awesome.
All right, man.
Awesome. Well, I wish you the best, Patrick. Thanks for some time tonight. And
thank you. I appreciate it. It was fun.
Enjoy the girls. Stay on the line a second. Keep surviving and thriving, friends. Thanks for tuning in. Again, this book was released today, so check it out. It is on Amazon. The Magic Acronyms, Formulas, and Impactful Stories of Leadership. Keep surviving and thriving, friends. Thanks, Patrick.
Yes.